Thanks for visiting Mr. Shoe Guy here on YouTube. Hey, it's Robert, Mr. Shoe Guy. I'm coming to you with a video today on a topic that I find very interesting. You know, as this reselling, picking community grows and more people are becoming aware and learning about the potential of profits out here, when you're buying and you're reselling items, as that community grows, the thrift stores and private sellers are becoming more aware that this community is growing. And in response to the growth of our picking, reselling, flipping community, people are beginning to raise their prices, and so are the corporations. You look at Goodwill, you look at Salvation Army, you look at private sellers, and you will see that people are beginning to raise their prices, especially focused on the retail locations, the Goodwills and the Salvation Armies. They understand and they know that people are out there buying and buying with the intent to resell. So my question really, this video is really kind of a question to you. Does it matter? Should it matter? What should the picking community do in response to some of the, increasing prices at these Goodwills and at these retail Salvation Armies? I mean, do you think it's a big deal? Personally, I feel like it is a big deal. Not in such a regard like, oh, it's a big deal, I want to stop doing it. But it is a big deal in that we should take note that they are raising their prices. Kind of like when you go to the gas pump and you notice that the price has gone from $1.99 to $2.99, or when you go to the grocery store and you see that the price of bread has risen over the last 3 decades from 60 cents to $3.43 to $5. I mean, you need to take stock of those things. And when you go to the Goodwill and you're looking at a pair of shoes, the same pair of shoes that used to cost me $3.99 to get a pair of used or lightly used or terrible condition shoes, they're all costing me now not $3.99 but $4.99. That is something to take into account. And when you look at and you take into account regional differences, in California, a pair of Goodwill's, cheapest, most used shoes might cost you $7.99. Well, here in Charlotte, they're going to cost me $4.99 now. And in California, they might be going from $7.99 to $9.99. Well, if you're out there living in California and you're watching this video, you absolutely need to be aware of the fact that the price is rising. So for me, I've made mention of the fact that prices seem to be rising in my area, and people are like, oh, that doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? You got great prices anyway. Well, it's really not that simple, because if they rose my prices last month from 2014 to 2015 from $3.99 to $4.99, and I don't say anything about it, I don't do anything about it, I keep my buying habits the same, and then in 6 months, in 8 months to a year, they do it again from $4.99 to $6.99, they're going to keep doing it. Now, granted, let's be clear here. I'm not saying, lower your prices, Goodwill, bring them back down to something that's reasonable. I understand how the economy works, I understand how inflation works, I understand how, as time goes on, like our dollar's weakening, and that these companies have to, keep pace with inflation. I understand that. But what I am saying is to be aware of it happening, and that your buying habits as a reseller cannot stay the same. Otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the proverbial foot. And what you need to really do is, again, pay attention to your buying habits. As prices rise, you need to become a little bit more selective in what you're buying. And you also need to find ways to keep your costs down. So one of the ways you can do that is by taking advantage of discount days at Salvation Armies and at Goodwills. Another way you can keep your costs low is to source primarily from places that don't necessarily have fixed prices that are rising. Hence, yard sales, estate sales, Craigslist, even eBay in some instances, because the prices are much more in a position to fluctuate. So I'm not saying don't go to Goodwill, don't go to Salvation Army. Personally speaking, the prices in my area are still very favorable, but it does mean that you need to consider other avenues of getting product and also keeping your cost of entry low. If you read my book, you'll understand that I'm not paying above a certain amount for this type of shoe and above a certain amount for this type of shoe. And if I'm going above that, it's because that particular pair warrants it above and beyond. The brand, the condition, all of that warrants it. And that's, you know, honestly it's less of an experiment and more of a sure thing that I'm going to make my money back. You know, like here's an example, a pair of Filson boots. I might spend 50 bucks on those, but I know I'll make those back with $300 in sales. So personally, just getting back to the core of this video, rising prices in response to the growing resale community. Personally, how do you feel about it? Do you think that it's worthy of discussion, or do you think it should just be swept under a rug? Just let me know in the comment section below what you think. Personally, I think it's not a bad thing, but it is something to be aware of. I think it's worthy of a discussion. I'd love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting Mr. Shoe Guy here on YouTube. Check out MrShoeGuy.com, and y'all have a great day. Y'all take care.